Welcome, beautiful yogis. This is the time of year when we want to relax and go deep and burrow into our own quiet place. So you're in the right spot for this. Get your props ready for the open book pose, and we'll begin there with dropping into the body, connecting with breath, and in that way, progressively calm our systems, quiet our minds, and come to that place of deep rest. So, setting up your shape. We have been doing this for a long time, haven't we? And you know the way. But it's so wonderful to do it together as we lie back over the props, feeling the left and the right sides. Oh, if you haven't done this for a bit, you might find your body needs a little extra support. Adjust your props as needed. As you find the center line of your body, the middle of the back of your head, your spinal column, tailbone, knowing that many of us have spines that are not directly along the middle. They have a little curvature here and a little curvature there. So, letting it all be as it is as we close the eyes, falling away into our own inner body, feeling it, letting it arise into awareness. Oh, too often we are busy in our thoughts. The invitation now is to take a double inhalation, 2 sniffs, and then we'll blow the breath away. This is how it goes. There's a little vigor to this. Inhale belly, inhale chest, and blow it away. We'll do 3 more of those. Find the energy for the big inhale, little pause. Continue the inhale to full, and blow it away. 2 more times. Last double inhale through your nose and blowing it away. Now a natural nose in, slow and smooth, and again we'll just blow the breath lightly away. Stay with this breath, smoothly, slowly in, and then blowing it away smoothly, completely. Stay with this now. Two more of these. Letting the breath slow down, letting yourself feel and become absorbed by your breathing. And how now, as we continue this same slow nose inhalation, we'll follow it with a nose exhalation. So now the breath in and out through the nose, knowing that this kind of breathing takes us to a quieter brain space, at least a little bit distant from what's occupied you today. And as you breathe, I will be sharing some reflections this evening of the season that we're in. Just a few days short of solstice. For us up here in the Northern Hemisphere, we know that this is the turning point. The sun stands still, as it were, from our point of view, and the days will grow longer again, imperceptibly at first. We know we are in the cold season, although many of you are in the warmer climes in California. I have a little poem for you, for all of us, wherever we are. It's written by Timothy Steele, and he's still around. And it's called Towards the Winter Solstice. Although the roof is just a story high, it dizzies me a little to look down. I lariat twirled the cord of Christmas lights and cast it to the weeping birch's crown. A dowel into which I've screwed a hook enables me to reach, lift, drape and twine the cord among the boughs, so that the bulbs will ascend the tree's elegant design. Friends, passing home from work or shopping, pause and call up commendations or critiques. I make adjustments. Though a potpourri of Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jews and Sikhs, we're all conscious of the time of year. We all enjoy its colourful displays and keep some festival that mitigates the dwindling warmth and compass of the days. Some say that LA doesn't suit the Yule, but UPS vans now, like magi, make their present-laden rounds, while fallen leaves are gaily resurrected in their wake. The desert lifts a full moon from the east and issues a dry Santa Ana breeze. And valets at chic restaurants will soon be tending flocks of cars and SUVs. And as the neighborhoods sink into dusk, the fan palms scattered all across town stand more calmly prominent. And this place seems a vast oasis in the Holy Land. This house might be a caravanserai, the tree a kind of cordial fountainhead of welcome, looped and decked with necklaces and centaurs of green, yellow, blue and red. Some wonder if the Star of Bethlehem occurred when Jupiter and Saturn crossed. It's comforting to look up from this roof and feel that, while all changes, nothing's lost. To recollect that in antiquity, the winter solstice fell in Capricorn, and that in the Orion Nebula, from swirling gas, new stars are being born. Your lovely breath flowing through your body. The dichotomy of this season, when we are invited by nature to turn inward, to nest in, as it were, to hibernate, what do? We get extra busy and we go out and we spend time with friends and eat those things that we normally wouldn't eat, and laugh. And there's great merriment at this season. So we straddle both, because being with friends, connecting, is so very nourishing to our roots. At this time, we are simply in this reflective, breathing, restful place, where your own reflections might be swirling through your mind. Allow all that as you continue to feel your breath and witness all that arises. This resting and breathing is also just nourishing the roots of our being. Feel that, allow it, receive it, and enjoy it. Enjoy the feeling of this single breath. It rises to fullness, turns around in that little pause, and then flows out again. How we could savor this very breath in the middle of it all. Now we'll complete the open book pose. Gently bring your knees back together. And make your way off your setup to reconstellate your props. To get ready now for revolved child's pose, where all we do is move the blankies as the bolster could stay as it is. Unless you want to take the blocks out, it will be a little lower. See what works for you today. We're going to start on the left buttock. So sitting down on your left hip and buttock, your knees will be to the right of your bolster. And lift and turn your trunk to lie full frontal all the way down. Your left ear just finding purchase on your support. And then drop the weight of your arms, the weight of your head, and the weight of your left hip. Let gravity absorb your body's weight. Gravity can take us, can take our load. Nothing that needs to be held up now. All the invitation asks is that we trace the path of the breath. Perhaps celebrate this incoming, how it feels, how it touches, how it's animated in its journey into your body. And how as it leaves again, there is this kind of blissful letting go, all that we no longer need. This season, November, where the leaves drop, we're still in this letting go of all that we're done with, to drop into the midnight of the year, which, no matter what the date is, can be this very breath. And as you rest here on this left side of the revolved child's pose, I'll share another little reflection, this time about letting go. And this too by a male poet, Jeff Foster. He says, "Let go of the idea of letting go. Instead, let love go deep into the tender places. Let love go deep into the tender places, the parts that ache. Breathe. Breathe into your sadness. Let your fear move deep within. Bow to your uncertainty. There is an untouchable place in you that fearlessly allows itself to be touched. Here, even in your unworthiness, has worth. And that old feeling that you are unlovable, it's lovable here. There's so much room in you, my friend. So much room. There is nothing wrong with you, including the idea that there is something wrong with you. So, stop trying to love yourself. Simply be the self that loves. Simply be the self that loves. your exhalations growing longer in this forward shape. So that the emptying happens all by itself. The very long exhalations to drop into the no breath, into the empty, the moment of trust. We trust in the return of the breath, just as in the depth of winter we trust in the return of spring. It's been doing that for a long time. Let's enjoy the 3 more long exhalations and the little pause of nothing. And then as you complete, to take your time to treasure each moment as you gently press your way back up adjust your props, and take the same pose to the other side. To balance out our bilateral body, we sit down now on the right butt cheek, your legs echoing what they did on the first side, to turn your trunk and come full frontal down again, and to lie down, to surrender, to yield to the gift of gravity that holds and embraces, allows us to let our weight drop down. The weight in our body, the weight in our mind, our heart. It's been a rough year. We give our weight to the earth, to be held, to be transmuted, to know out of this ending, completing, something new births. The image of the tree. The tree is very much part of the season's celebrations. A decorated tree, a tree from the forest brought into the home. The tree that teaches us so much. We're lucky that we live here on the Pacific coast in Oregon. We are surrounded by trees. They all stand up tall. Most of them are conifers, they're evergreens. How long they live varies. But the little part of the woods where we walk regularly, there are a lot of trees that are really old, that have fallen over, that appear to be completely dead, and yet the tree is the place where new life begins. As we were walking through the woods, we were reflecting on this very thing, and I come across the articulate John O'Donoghue, who puts it so brilliantly. So as you rest here in your long exhalations and the little pause, I share what our beautiful Irish friend says. A tree is a perfect presence. It is somehow able to engage and integrate its own dissolution. The tree is wise in knowing how to foster its own loss. It does not become haunted by loss, nor addicted to it. The tree shelters and minds the lot. I'm going to read that sentence again. The tree shelters and minds the loss. And out of this comes the quiet dignity and poise of the tree's presence. Trees stand beautifully on the clay. They stand with dignity. A life that wishes to honor its own possibility has to learn, too, how to integrate the suffering of dark and bleak times into a dignity of presence. Letting go of old forms of life, a tree practices hospitality towards new forms of life. It balances the perennial energies of winter and spring within its own living bark. The tree is wise in the art of belonging. The tree teaches us how to journey. Too frequently our inner journeys have no depth. We move forward feverishly into new situations and experiences which neither nourish nor challenge us, because we have left our deeper selves behind. And so it's no wonder that the addiction to superficial novelty leaves us invariably empty and weary. Much of our experience is literally superficial. It slips deftly from surface to surface. It lacks rootage. The tree can reach towards the light, endure wind and rain and storm, precisely because it is rooted. Each of its branches is ultimately anchored in a reliable depth of clay. The wisdom of the tree balances the path inwards with the pathway outwards. So, beautiful yogis, invite you to gently come up and set up this time for seated forward bend. Do it slowly and tenderly with your body. It's nice to go slowly. We are in no rush. And so we're setting up a little tabletop. We've spiraled the spine in both directions, and now we're going to lengthen and straighten it with the forward bend. So make sure that your tabletop is high enough for you, and you're going to figure out how it is today with your knees, with your calves, with your hips. Should you sit cross-legged or straddle-legged? See how it feels. Adjust and make it lovely for your body at this moment. To snuggle forward with a long straight spine to rest your brow. And so the spine now is in its own lane, hinged a little forward. If you're very flexible, you might have a lower support to lie on. We're meeting our body where it is. As the temperatures get colder, we tend to be a little stiffer. Savor your breath. I recently heard this beautiful description of Maha Mudra. Maha means great. Mudra, a gesture. That one single tended breath is a Maha Mudra. See how it feels. To savor, to truly savor as we might something yummy, something that we can allow to slowly awaken our senses, so that we could taste and feel it all before gulping it down and it's gone. This breathing part of our slowing down practice, it's so lovely to just be present for it. Like the tree, fully present. When we are fully present, we become presence itself. And that becomes a gift to ourselves and to all those around us. How lovely is that? In this Mahamudra breathing, we find that there is an untouchable place in you that fearlessly allows itself to be touched. just one or two more beautiful breaths to feel, to allow, to experience fully, to savor. From the seated forward bend, we'll come to an upright seat for our pranayama. And we'll do the one that is so potent to balance, to calm. It's when you sit up tall, let your spine have room for prana to flow. If you need support, you can lean back into something. And we'll practice alternate nostril breathing. So your right hand thumb lightly closes the right nostril, index and middle can rest on your brow, and the left nostril receives the incoming breath. And as you reach the fullness, your ring finger closes up the left, and the right releases to allow the exhalation through the right side all the way. And then let the breath in again through your right. To the fullness moment where we switch. And out through the left. You can make that exhale as long as you like. And then the inhale through the same side, left channel. And at the fullness, the savoring moment, the exhale through right channel. And so it flows, same side in. And the other side out. Stay with this, beautiful yogi, devoted to this practice. Devoted to our own well-being, capacity for presence. There is a tenderness, a commitment, a savoring. We're tapping into something beyond words. So now when you reach the fullness of your breath, top of your inhale, pause a moment and let your hand rest down and feel the breath come out through both channels and back in as it occurs through both. Allow the exquisiteness of this Nice, everyone. And so now we'll lie on the back. We'll lie on the back with the legs elevated. Finding your way there, you could use the wall, you can use your tabletop. We get to rest the back. And receive that being held by the gift of the earth, the gift of gravity. And even as you lie back, the sense of burrowing in, going a little deeper, as though below the surface. As you rest below the surface, a little reminder of our wholeness. And this reflection, this poem called The Unbroken, it's for those who have suffered trauma and loss. And I would say that's all of us. There is a brokenness out of which comes the unbroken, a shatteredness out of which blooms the unshatterable. There is a sorrow beyond all grief, which leads to joy, and a fragility. A fragility out of whose depths emerges strength. There is a hollow space too vast for words, through which we pass with each loss. There is a hollow space too vast for words, through which we pass with each loss, out of whose darkness we are sanctioned into being. We are sanctioned into being. There is a cry deeper than all sound, whose serrated edges cut the heart as we break open to the place inside, which is unbreakable and whole, while learning to sing. There is a cry deeper than all sound, whose serrated edges cut the heart as we break open to the places inside, which is unbreakable and whole, while learning to sing. Breathing in, I receive the light of all that is. Breathing out, I express the light of all that is. Receiving, expressing. Sense and feel your body in this shape. How the whole of you is receiving the light of all that is. And the whole of you is expressing the light of all that is. And so, in spite of the days getting darker and the nights getting longer and darker, this inner light is here. Our loving tending of it keeps it going to become more bright, more in our awareness, because of course it's always there. We complete now this elevated leg shape. So bringing your knees close to your chest, hug in, rocking a little side to side, and move slowly with tenderness for your body in this wintry time to make your way to our next shape, which is supported bridge. Your blocks at the foot end, this dismantled tabletop now rearranged to form a new support, this time underneath your low back at your sacrum. So we lie down without a pillow. That could be right at the top of the mat, where we'll know where it is when we need it. Pull your hips up, the bolster under your hips, and then extend your legs. Oh, and see how this feels. A whole different orientation to gravity. And yet, here it is, this Maha Mudra. This Maha Mudra is always available. Now we tend it. Sometimes we need it as a first aid, an emergency remedy in a moment as we go about our day and we might be triggered. Suddenly we want to lash out and here comes the Maha Mudra that allows us to take a little space, a little distance, to realign, to center and ground. The Maha Mudra can be used often. The more we use it, the more quickly it becomes available in those moments of emergency, the moments of red alert that happen to us all as we go about our day. This resting, savoring, deepening can be seen as rebuilding. Releasing the old habits of quick reactivity into a way that is wiser. In this way we become the peace we want the whole world to be. We become that. What a gift. What a gift we can bring. This is the medicine of peace. We get cards in the mail with the word peace. It's actually here in our body. gift that's free for all of us. The Maha Mudra that needs no words. Yet sometimes the words can be helpful. Beautiful yogis, are you ready to transition again? And this time from the supported bridge to Shavasana. So simply move your bolster down under your legs, pull your pillow blankie under your head, and now your whole back can be completely at ease. And drop it down a little deeper. A little deeper below the surface. No more words, just the Maha Mudra. And so for the final part of our practice today, we're going to play a lullaby that goes back several centuries. I love to play it every day. This particular version is by a friend, a mutual friend of some of you here, and a mutual friend who left his body a long time, many years ago, but whose music lives on. Please rest and be lullabied. Thank you, Nigel Holton, for that beautiful piece. Always touches me so deeply. Thank you, beautiful yogis, for dropping deep, for going below the surface, to feel it all, this being human. And so let your breath return. Move your body a little bit. Roll onto your side. Drop into gratitude. Know that you are the light. And so when you're ready, come on up to sit. We wish you Merry Christmas. We wish you a beautiful Yuletide, winter solstice, and all the beautiful celebrations that are here at this time. And we'll be together again in the new year. We've got 2 Sundays that fall on Eve, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, so we'll miss those. But we'll see you after that. Thanks so much for coming. Namaste.